Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, but if you clicked on this video, you'll know that I'm doing a Gush Fest review for Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I read this last night, like literally all in one night, and I immediately had to get on video and just start talking about it because I love this so much. Legends and Lattes is a short 300-page novel about Viv, who is an orc barbarian who has spent most of her life adventuring, marauding, doing bounty hunting, and she decides to retire from that lifestyle and open up the very first coffee shop in this fantasy town called Thune. And so I'm smiling. I can't help but smile when I think about this book, let alone talk about it. And so we follow Viv as she's trying to open up her cafe and get customers and renovate and come up with a menu and make friends. And it's so stinking cute. This does have a sapphic romance in it, although it is very, very minor in the story. This book is mostly about creating a found family and finding a home for yourself and kind of putting down roots. And really, this book is a love letter to coffee as well. The descriptions of coffee and the effect it has on the customers and on Viv is truly beautiful, and it kind of evokes the emotional impact of coffee it can have on an individual and their individual experience with it. This is a, I'd say, medium-paced slice of life style book. It even says a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. So this is literally just Viv trying to open a coffee shop. There's really not much more to the story than that. This is written in very short scenes. There is lots of like page breaks and stuff like that, so it moves pretty quickly from scene to scene. There's nothing overwritten or drawn out. This is truly just capturing the essentials of the story, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that the book kind of moves forward very quickly. It also has very large text. I don't know if you can tell, but I found the text to be a very good size on the page, and it's only 305 pages. So again, I read this in one night. I think I read it in about 4 hours. One critique, I can't even say if it's a critique, I guess personal preference thing. I would have loved to get more background to all of our side characters. I was so attached to all of our side characters in this book. I really wish we would have gotten more in depth on them, but this truly is about Viv. And again, I would have loved more romantic scenes between her and her love interest, but again, that's not the focus or the point of this book. This is truly a slice of life type story. So you get enough of the side characters, you get enough of the romance to get a flavor for it, but it doesn't overpower the rest of the story. One of the things I really appreciated about this book is the world building was so casual and so quickly glossed over that it almost was, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it was just so casual in its execution and its description. It was just like, here are all these creatures and here's kind of what they look like. Moving on. The world building didn't get in the way of the story. It really is almost secondary. It's like, we're in a magical kingdom, we're in a magical town, there's magical creatures, there's different, you know, sure, there might be greater politics or stuff going on, but none of that really matters to the story that's being told, and so the author doesn't spend any time or waste any time like going into any of that. It's just like, there are succubus creatures and there are rat humanoids, and you just kind of go with the flow with the world building on this one. I do want to say this is an adult novel. It does have like 1 or 2 scenes that are a little violent. When Viv is still adventuring, that opening scene is a little violent, and she also like swears a couple times, but there's no like super explicit romantic erotic scenes or anything like that. But I would say this is targeted towards an adult audience. If you like The House in the Cerulean Sea or Howl's Moving Castle, I think if you've read those, you might like this. And also, if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli films, this feels like a Studio Ghibli film in that it feels comforting and it feels nostalgic, and there's food. This reads like a Ghibli food montage, and it was lovely. Really, I don't have a ton to say about this other than I loved it. I did tear up a few times throughout this book just because of how sweet and lovely it was. Especially the friendships that Viv was forming with the people in the town and whatnot. And there's just a few characters that I grew really, really attached to and teared up for them. This is one of those books where I literally forgot I was reading it. I started reading at about 7 o'clock, and before I knew it, it was 9:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get ready for bed. I got in bed and I was like, I have to keep reading. And then the next thing I knew, it was 11 and I had finished it. So I literally forgot I was reading this while I was reading it. I was so immersed and I was so invested in this cute little story. I can see this becoming a comfort read. I would love to get my hands on the audiobook. I've heard that the author is a full-time audiobook narrator and he narrates his own book, so I bet it's fantastic. And I could just see myself revisiting this over and over and over again because of how charming and lovely it was. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought this was beautiful. I thought this was sweet and charming and just a whole lot of fun. And if you haven't heard of this, please get your hands on it. I think this is truly something different and something a lot of fun and that a lot of people would really enjoy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this little gush review session. Let me know if you're interested in Legends and Lattes. I would love to talk more about this book with the community, and yeah, let me know if you're interested, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!